Overpromised with Covino and Rich. Do it.
Yeah, time for the bonus podcast that will change your life.
I don't know about change your life, but we hope you enjoy it for the next 22 plus minutes. Give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world. You like that? I came up with it.
You made that up?
Our new slogan, actually, welcome to the world famous. I made that up too. Covino and Rich bonus show, Overpromised. Monday through Friday, we're on Fox Sports Radio, 5 to 7 on the East, 2 to 4 on the West. Search Covino and Rich wherever you stream your podcast. But thank you for joining us here. We're going to talk about some NFL logos, Super Bowl logos. Yeah. We're going to talk about the most important sporting good you own.
There's an obvious answer. There's a number one answer on the board. If you disagree with me, you're an ass clown.
Or have times changed? We'll explain. Plus, Kelce's proposal. What? Let's get into it. Bill Belichick.
Is he going to do it Macho Man style? Will you marry me?
I mean, that would be cool. But Bill Belichick in the news. He's on Jim Gray's podcast, the Let's Go podcast. And he basically gives a lot of props to Tom Brady, as he should. But it was, I thought, a nice gesture for him to speak of him so highly.
I think over the last couple of years, you've seen Bill Belichick and Tom Brady show each other more and more love. Because, you know what it's like? You look back at a relationship and you start to think of it more fondly. You forget the troubles and the, bumping heads, bumping helmets. But you do remember the good times. And they did win 6 together. And this is what he had to say about Tom Brady. And I'll be honest, super complimentary. Take a look.
Oh, you got to have good players. And as a coach, you want to give your players a chance to win. You want to put them in a position where if they go out there and play well, they'll have a chance to win. That's what Coach Parcells taught me is there's always a way to win. You just got to figure out what it is, and you have to give the players a chance.
They don't name it the Star Trophy. It's named the Lombardi Trophy.
Maybe they should name it the Brady Trophy. He won 7 of them.
Yeah, you know what? Belichick, listen, he won 8, for if you want to play stat boy, 2 as an assistant with the Giants, 6 with the Pats. But Tom Brady has won 7 Super Bowls. So it does beg the question, do they need to pull an NBA move?
Well, I mean, there's so many sort of questions at bay here. It's like the importance of coach versus player, right? Because it's now named after a coach, Vince Lombardi. But by Belichick saying that, he's also insinuating, well, Lombardi wasn't scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
I wasn't kicking field goals. He even goes on to say, look, I wasn't throwing those passes. I wasn't scoring touchdowns. I wasn't kicking field goals like Vinatieri in 4 inches of snow. It should be named after a player. That's basically what he's saying without saying it, and complimentary to Tom Brady at the same time. So your thoughts on that? Do we glorify the past? Well, should it be the Vince Lombardi Trophy? Can you rescind an honor like that? Can you take away an honor like that?
It's interesting. They rename bridges. They rename monuments.
Maybe you can. It's a different time, different place.
They rename Gulfs. No, but the NBA has done a hell of a job doing this. Now, the NFL is king, right? The NFL, clearly, 50, 60 million people watched the AFC Championship game last week. NFL is king, there's no doubt. They do most things right. Maybe updating the awards isn't a bad idea. I know what you're saying. It feels like they're stripping away a legendary person of that honor.
Feels that way, but maybe they're just doing it to move forward with the sport, right? Like, there's no rule that says you can't change it.
Yeah, wasn't there a bridge? What's the bridge in New York? Like, they renamed it like the RFK Junior Bridge. Was that the Kosciuszko Bridge or something?
Kosciuszko, the 59th Street Bridge
or
something.
They rename shit like that all the time. So if you go to the NBA, who, let's argue this, they're looking to do things right. They renamed the Western Conference MVP Award the Magic Johnson Award. Eastern Conference, Larry Bird. MVP, Michael Jordan. All-Star Award is the Kobe Bryant one. And the Rookie of the Year, Wilt Chamberlain. The only one that sticks around is Larry O'Brien. And why not Pat Riley? Why not someone who's been there, done that? Maybe a Phil Jackson Award.
Or based on what Belichick said here, you name it after a player. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, Larry O'Brien, commissioner 75 to 84, made the NBA what it was, popularized it, a major part of the growth of the NBA. So I get it, deserving then. But how many people really know much about Larry O'Brien today? So yeah, I could see a Phil Jackson trophy
but-
or a Pat Riley
but ask
trophy.
yourself,
it would
is
make
it-
more sense moving forward for other generations.
Does it leave a bad taste in your mouth? Is it really what I'm asking? Is it shitty to take someone's name off of an award just because time has passed?
I mean, there's other ways to honor them, right? And then at the same time, you do have to move forward. It might be something we need to get used to because I think when you think of these major sports, I think some changes need to be made.
Yeah.
Like think about the logos, right? If you're going to change the Lombardi Trophy to the Brady Trophy, why not change the MLB logo? Nobody really knows who it is or what it is,
Are
right?
they batting lefty already?
Yeah, that's
don't
the
even
other
know.
thing. And as a kid, it always confused me. It looked like a bird to me.
Got a beak.
And the helmet and the nose look like a bird taking an at bat. I'm like, why is Big Bird playing for the Expos? What's going on here? But why not Griffey? We've seen this before.
Yeah.
The most beautiful swing in the world. And you can go classic, right? You can go classic Mickey Mantles and things like that. But Griffey Jr., you've seen this, and it looks sweet. I've seen several versions of it. The backwards hat. You know that's Griffey Jr. and his beautiful swing. Why not that? Modern day, spice it up. We've made rule changes. I understand it seems like a disrespect, but as we quote Gary Vaynerchuk all the time, innovate or die. Sometimes you got to make changes without disrespecting the past.
But I feel there is a layer of,
it's just moving forward.
there's a slight layer of disrespect when you rename a monument, a bridge, a trophy in the NBA. There have been some mock-ups when we lost Kobe Bryant almost 5 years ago to this day, right? 5 years ago. There was thoughts of, do we make the NBA logo Kobe? And there's a couple mock-ups of this because even though we all know it's Jerry West, the NBA never lets you know it's officially Jerry West. But is that sort of erasing the past then if you re-up the logo and change it?
But think of it this way. Because again, it's not meant to be a disrespect to Jerry West. It's meant to be an honor to Kobe Bryant. As time moves on, and I'm sad to say this, we see the record books and we know the legend of a Jerry West, but is there anyone alive eventually that even saw him play? Right? So what means more to the fan that's alive on this earth? I know it sounds odd or a weird way to look at it, but Kobe Bryant would make more sense in today's world for today's fan. And if anyone is willing to make those changes, it might be the NBA.
Yeah, you could have this conversation go in a million directions. So as time passes, think about this for a second. Fast forward 50 to 100 years later. Who's to say teams don't say, all right, who knows Yogi Berra anymore? Unretire number 8. Could you start unretiring numbers after like 50 to 100 years?
No.
Hey,
that's the point of retiring. No.
So that's okay.
No. I think that's where you draw the line. And like I said, if you were to take away that honor, there are other ways to still keep them alive, right? There's other things you could dedicate and plaques you could do and awards you can name. Or maybe you just create other trophies to respect the Kobes and the Griffeys and things like that who've made an impact on today's generation. But I think we do need to say, look, if we were to rename the Lombardi Trophy to the Brady Trophy, it's not the craziest thing in the world. He's won 7 of them. But then it poses the question, well, if Mahomes surpasses him, is it the Mahomes Trophy?
Right, so hold on now.
Hey, great idea. If I win a 3P and then maybe like 3 more, maybe it's the Mahomes Trophy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's got to end somewhere. Or maybe it's an evolution.
So maybe we just stick with the Lombardi Trophy because there would be no Super Bowl history without Lombardi. The guy's a Broadway play named after him. Vince Lombardi, Super Bowls 1 and 2, a legend. The AFC and the NFC championship trophies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they don't deserve it. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But the AFC is the Lamar Hunt. And the NFC is George Halas.
Okay.
Joe Montana, Tom Brady.
I'm okay with it.
I'm
okay with it if we're not disrespecting people because they were honored for a reason.
We're getting older, dude. Joe Montana played a long ass time ago. So you tell me the NFC Championship, if you called it the Joe Montana Award instead of George Halas, you think people would be like, oh,
your
come on.
thoughts. But when you have a legend like Bill Belichick who's putting his 8 aside and his ego aside to say, hey, maybe we rename it not for him, but for Brady, it does make you think, well, hey, why is that not a possibility? And you can share your thoughts at Covino and Rich, at Fox Sports Radio, hashtag Overpromised.
Should the award essentially always be named after the OGs, the people that paved the way, or if someone has come along since and just dominated on a different level, do they then get that honor?
That's
like,
what
it's
I
an
mean.
interesting question.
Like, there's going to be bigger stars. Like, I think boxing should have a logo, and it doesn't for obvious reasons. Too many belts, too many sanctions, right? But if there were to be a boxing logo that you would identify, it should be like a Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
You could debate Mike Tyson or whatever, but it would be Ali. If there's an Ali of that sport, if hockey had a person as a logo, it should be Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
You know,
No, all right, look at it this way. I know it's not sports, but it's
so
sports.
therefore, my
it's
point
sports,
is, it's an evolution of things.
It's sports entertainment. Take away the racist stuff and the Trump stuff people don't like about him. Should every wrestling montage have Hulk Hogan right in the middle? Or is it like, all right, dude, we've seen enough of this guy. Like The Rock, Stone Cold, other guys sort of carry the torch. Or should Hulk Hogan always be the centerpiece of a wrestling montage?
You keep saying always, and that's the point. I think these things are ever changing, and that's okay. Right? It doesn't mean we forget the past, but Hulk Hogan eventually slips out to the side a little bit.
I don't want to put
and here comes, The Rock and John Cena and everybody else.
I don't want to put Spot on the spot, but when Raw debuted on
So good at it.
Netflix, they painted like the whole intro was like a cool painting of Monday Night Raw. You don't need to play a video, but there was a painting, and I noticed that Hogan was like in the top right, and he wasn't the centerpiece.
That's just evolution.
Because it's like, The Rock or Roman Reigns or this, that. So we evolve. So look at it that way.
So speaking of logos, let's talk about the Super Bowl logo. We'll be heading there. New Orleans, always a fun time. Again, we've seen the evolution of the Super Bowl
going to
logo.
be Chiefs and Eagles because it was green and red.
Right.
That hilarious narrative. The NFL logo is a great example of something that used to be awesome. Then it went through like a 15-year period where it stunk.
The Super Bowl logo.
Yeah, it stunk. And now they're trying to give it a little character again. What I used to think was cool. Yeah, there it is. Look, the wrestling logo. Spot, you're the man.
Sorry.
Spot, the fact you found that, I love you.
Not the greatest,
But
but
see,
there it is.
Hogan's in the top right. Like, he's no longer the, right there.
Yeah,
because we evolve.
To a newer audience, we've moved forward.
Yeah.
So it's not about disrespect, and that's the point. It's about where we are now. We honor the past, but you also got to honor what's going on here. The thing is, sometimes we glorify the past for way too long when we've seen other stars and maybe even bigger stars rise since then.
So to wrap this up, logos, awards, respect, the Super Bowl logo. I remember as a kid, every year where that Super Bowl was, you'd remember sometimes where that game was played because the logo catered to the city. It was that city's opportunity, or some designer, some graphics person made a cool logo. Then they made this generic, look in the beginning.
Yeah,
all
I used
the
to like
cool logos.
the personality of the city, the skyline, something that says, hey, the Super Bowl is in Miami.
Or just like they would change the fonts. And then all of a sudden they went to this generic silver Lombardi Trophy logo
That
for
was weak.
years. The last couple of years now, they've injected colors and some fonts to go with the city. And now the conspiracy is they know who's going to play because the colors seem to line up.
And that's remained true as we get ready for Chiefs
You don't
Eagles.
say.
See, look at that.
Yep.
Look at that. Conspiracy.
So there are the logos, and we've seen the evolution, and it's getting better. Now, Rich,
yeah, buddy.
aside from all the foosball and logo talk, you've been busy in dad life.
Dude,
Want to talk about it?
I'm not only...
Are they going to name the Little League trophy the Rich Davis Trophy?
I mean, it should. But listen, I'm coaching my daughter. Not coaching. I'm managing. I know you love when I say this. There's a difference. Coach, like assistant coaches show up. Managing a kid's sports team is a pain in the ass.
But I just point out when we were kids, it was Coach Buttermaker. It wasn't, manager. It was my personal coach, Coach Montini, or my dad, Coach Covino. It wasn't a manager. It wasn't Tony LaRusso walking out. He was the coach.
But for continuity,
it wasn't Mr. Fuji.
You might say head coach, but that's a football term. Manager is a baseball term.
But wasn't that always how it was
but
when
I'm
we were
saying
kids?
maybe they changed it because it never made sense. Like,
There he is, the coach.
every baseball level, it's manager and there's coaches.
Was Walter Matthau the manager of the Bad News Bears? I
He
don't
was.
think so.
Well, anyway, I found
I
myself.
think you just like the title. I'm the manager.
No, because if I say coach, people are like, oh, you help coach your
Wait
kid.
till Karen wants to talk to you. Can I speak to the manager, please?
Can I tell you? Who do the parents bitch to?
I'm the manager.
The parents don't bitch to the assistant coach. If I'm the guy that has to take on all that shit, then I'm the manager. Anyway,
Rich wants to feel important.
I went to the sporting goods store.
Okay.
And I just want to throw it out there. One of the most glorious places to walk around. But we lack good ones out here in LA. No offense to Big Five. Big Five is no gotta go to Moe's or Dick's or remember back in the day, Sports Authority. Big Five spot. That must be the biggest Big Five because the one I went to on Topanga was like a fucking size of a coffee shop.
The tiny 5.
Excuse my language.
Give it a low 5. No, growing up for me.
I know you're a big fan of this one.
Yeah, Rich is a huge fan
No,
of
who
Dick's.
doesn't love Dick's? Sporting goods.
Gotta go to Moe's. I used to go to Herman's. Herman's, we are sports.
Sports Authority.
Growing up on the East Coast.
So I want to throw it out there, just a hypothetical for our Fox Sports Radio, Covino and Rich friends. What is the most important sporting good you buy in your life? Because I had to size up my kids for new gloves. And hold on, I got them right here.
Oh.
My son, who's in T-ball, I got him this bad boy. It's got a little flex to it, a little Rawlings action.
What is that? That's a tiny glove
Yeah.
for tiny hands. Is that an Omar Vizquel?
And my daughter wanted this one. I like
tiny
this,
glove.
the gray with the little teal logo for her softball domination. I have to break in a glove for the first time in 30 years. I got to help her with the oil, put her, rubber bands. But
Gotta throw it in the microwave, bro.
please
Oil it up.
after the podcast, give me this micro. I've never done the microwave.
Look it up. There's YouTube.
Well, anyway, I realized that I've had my baseball glove I used for 15 years as a kid.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, I play softball. I've had the same softball glove from time I was like 20 something till now in my 40s.
That's because that's how it used to be.
Yeah.
I think most grown men probably had a total of 3 gloves
Their whole-
of a lifetime. You had your T-ball glove when you were just a little
I finally
boy.
found the glove of a lifetime.
Yeah, because you will find a glove that lasts you your whole life through, a good 20, 30 years. Then you had your Little League glove, and then maybe you got your grown man glove that you still have till this day. And if a softball game breaks out, that's your one. And I still have every one of those gloves. So when you do get that Little League glove,
Yeah.
when you're just a little pumpkin pie haircutted, nose-picking kid, it is the glove of a lifetime. But today's kid, they get a new glove every year because they buy
they're-
it on Amazon
and
and
they're
they want it to
easier-
match their uniform.
Not only that, they're easier to break in. Apparently, sporting goods stores will steam them for you and break them in and do all this shit.
Those days of gloves of a lifetime, those days are over,
But
man.
what's funny
I have a 9-year-old nephew. He's had 19 gloves already.
And now my outfield glove, my infield glove. I had one glove. So when I'm at the sporting goods store, not that my wife was like, "What are you doing?" Because I was, trust me, we were taking our time in the glove section because I'm like, "Honey, you don't realize this is a decision. To me, this is like deciding on a car. This is what you are going to use." But you're right. Maybe kids think differently now. But for me, you got a glove. That was your freaking glove for years and years and years. When you think of other sporting goods, I'm here to make the proclamation. A baseball glove is far more important than any other sporting good because I thought about it. Bowling ball, you get your fingers fit as size. New bowling ball, no big deal. Basketball, these things are also interchangeable.
Basketballs you wear out.
Yeah, you wear out.
They wear out.
A tennis racket, maybe you upgrade to a new one.
They're
football,
always ever changing with their technology too.
You go to you toss it around
Same
a
with
football with your
bats.
buddies. It could be a Nerf, an NFL size, a college size. Doesn't matter. A baseball glove, to me, is the one sporting good that if you commit to it, you could have it for 25 years or more.
It's the most important sporting good of your lifetime.
Fact.
And I hate to agree with Rich. And although we've treated gloves differently as time went on,
Yeah.
because your kid will have a new one by next year.
No doubt.
I do agree with you. I still agree with you. Everything else, you get a new one the next year, or it gets old, a football, a helmet. These are things that wear and tear. You get rid of them. The glove lasts. You get it refurbished, relaced.
Yeah.
That glove could last a lifetime, therefore important.
No doubt.
Therefore, you finally found the glove of a lifetime.
Do you ever put I always would put my finger outside the glove. Did you?
Not always, but yeah.
Now they have a little padding for that.
Glove to last your whole life through. I'm trying to think if there's any other sporting piece of equipment that could compare.
Because there's something
Like,
about.
I don't play hockey, but do you have a stick? And like, this is
no.
my
I guess
stick.
a baseball bat could break.
Right?
Maybe you get a series of bats.
What about
but-
your clubs? Would a golfer be like, my clubs, bro?
Yeah, but
Clubs
you
are
could
good.
replace.
Had
No,
them.
but you
Clubs
could.
might be
No,
one,
but
right?
you could. No, but
Like, I've
here's
had
the
these
thing.
clubs for 30 years.
Here's the thing. You could replace a driver or putter with the same one, and you wouldn't know wrap the handle the way you want. A glove is just, you break it in, it becomes your hand.
Right. It's like personalized
Yeah,
to you.
it's only you.
It's broken in the way you like it.
Some
Everybody-
people, you ever grab someone else's glove and it flaps a separate way?
I
Oh, what are you
hate
doing
that.
here?
I hate it has to have a certain flap and yeah.
I like
feel
him
to
extra
it.
floppy.
Yeah, me too. We're just, you know what? I hate it, but he's right.
All right. All right. Well, hey, one more thing before we say have a great Thursday, rest of your night. I saw that at DraftKings and other sports books, you could bet on whether or not Travis Kelce is going to propose to Taylor Swift on Super Bowl Sunday. It's plus 750, meaning you bet $100, you win 750. So I got to ask a couple things. Where I usually find stadium and arena proposals at the top tier of lame,
Like cliche and predictable.
cliche, predictable, but if you're Travis Kelce and you're the first team to ever three-peat and you propose to the biggest pop star in the world, does all lame go out the window and it's like the dopest moment ever?
It's like the fairy tale ending for the fairy tale couple. Again, I hate to agree with this guy, but I actually do agree here. But here's the catch, or as you like to say, the caveat.
The rub.
Here's the rub.
Yeah.
If you're going to pull this gesture, get down on a knee for the world to see after a three-peat, which has never been done, a chief-peat, a three-chief, as they said, which makes no sense. That's got to be the ending.
Retire.
We said fairy tale ending. That means, yeah, you're saying goodbye to the NFL.
He retires and they get married and we never hear about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce again.
I mean, I don't care if we hear about him again. I'm just saying that's sort of the bow. You just wrapped it up. That's the bow on top and the story. Hey, wasn't that
and
great?
you know what we did? We saw that at that point we would have seen the
beautiful.
beginning, middle, and end of a great story.
Yeah, like, all right, it's cliche and all these things, but this would be the perfect ending for quote unquote the perfect couple. It sounds cheesy and obvious, but I feel if this were to happen, I don't think it's impossible because there's so many people that want to see it. That needs to be his also, and I say goodbye to football.
Yeah.
Because then it just drags on.
That's the ending. So there you have it.
All right, quick reminders, guys. We're heading to Vegas for the Benavidez fight. So listen out live from Vegas. And then we go from Vegas to NOLA to New Orleans. So lots of great interviews. We're filling in for the herd on the 5th. So lots of interviews, lots of time changes, but listen out for Covino and Rich. Follow us on social media to follow the schedule. Search at Covino and Rich at Fox Sports Radio. Can't wait to see you at the Super Bowl.
And tons of bonus podcasts because of all the interviews at the Super Bowl. So we'll see you then. Until then, arrivederci, baby.
See you in the Overpromised land.
Goodbye.
Later.